Hey, it's Andrew here from safetyontap.com. This episode's part of my 2017 end of year challenge. I'm committing to give you 2 weeks of solid advice, reflections and actions for you to maximize what you learned from 2017 and unleash your greater potential in 2018. I'm sharing 1 episode every single day for the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas. So check out episodes 55 through to 65. There's no particular order to these. Each one of them on their own will be great to help you, but listening to more of them together will give you much greater value. And if you're listening to this at any other time of the year, have no fear. The best time for you to take action on this is always right now. I'm also still taking bookings for the first quarter of 2018. I would love to come out to your team meeting, strategy session, retreat, internal conference or workshop to help you and your teams become more effective in 2018. Send me an email, andrew@safetyontap.com, and we can get the ball rolling. In today's episode, I want to share with you 1 simple word which will improve your effectiveness right now. Head over to safetyontap.com/ep061 to download the free transcript of this episode, plus a worksheet to help you take action from what you learned today. As health and safety people, I think we can be a complicated bunch. On the one hand, we think we try and be these very useful, agreeable people in business. We just want people to like us and include us. And we tend to say yes to lots of things. Yes, of course, I'll do that inspection for you. Yes, I did respond to your email immediately. Yes, I can run that training session for just the 2 people who failed to attend the previous 2 sessions. We equate saying yes to customer service, to building trust and relationships. We feel the need to be responsive, which I think has its roots in the idea that safety people exist because things go wrong, so we almost have this built-in alert to be responsive. We are there for you, business people. On the other hand, we can have a reputation as the fun police, the ones who say no to anything that might be remotely involving a risk. No, you can't do that because someone might get hurt. No, you can't do that because there's no risk assessment. No, you can't do that because it doesn't seem like a good idea. Sometimes the word no becomes folklore when a historical no gets a life of its own like some urban legend and other people carry those no's forward. No, you can't serve full strength alcohol. I think there's a rule about that. No, you can't use volunteers, apparently. No, you can't bring your dog to work because it might have rabies. So it seems that we say yes far too often to maybe the wrong things and no far too readily to other things. I'll make a separate video about when we need to say yes more often, but for now, I want you to say no more often and to more people. Stephen Covey talks about his definition of effectiveness, which is simply doing the right things. He says that the trap many of us fall into is doing things right. But what things? We might feel busy, slammed. We are creating visible products. We're productive for our time. But is it the right stuff? Is it going in the right direction? He talks about this story of the jungle clearing crew, whose manager immediately gets them to work clearing the jungle, hacking away. And the leader, however, climbs the tallest tree and surveys the landscape and yells, "We're in the wrong jungle!" And you know what the busy manager and the workers yell back? "Shut up, we're making good progress." To them, that's more important than being in the right jungle. When we say yes too often, it creates a few problems. I think it creates overwhelm for us and our teams because we don't evaluate our answer against the time or the resource that we have. That often leads to underperformance. We underdeliver because we overcommit. We create an expectation as a pushover. They say jump and we say how high. And we try and make up for poor accountability when we say yes to things that other people should be doing. And we devalue our own time and our own priorities. Now, saying no isn't just to a person in real time either. Our behavior says yes to all manner of things like emails and notifications from systems and commitments made in meetings or by other people or things that are in procedures that we should be doing. We say yes every time one of those things dictates what we're doing versus something else. You need to be confident why you are going to say no. That means that you need enough information to make an informed decision. You need to be guided by a strategy or a plan, your business KPIs, your personal objectives, whatever it is. There must be a reason why you are saying no in relation to your limited time and resource. When you're clear on your why, on why you're saying no, it means that there are different kinds of no that you can say, which are all based on doing the right thing as opposed to doing things right. So you might say no, full stop. This could be something that's absolutely out of the question, maybe unethical or inappropriate or illegal. I think most of us will say no to these things already, if we've had to. Hopefully they're rare. But you still need to explain why you're saying no. You might say no, not right now. In respect of the asker, you let them know what they're asking is important, but not as important as what you're working on right now, relative priorities. That might feel uncomfortable. You know, most people, I think, will appreciate the relative demands that are placed on your time because everyone has that, and appreciate you giving them clarity, respect by explaining it to them. Not right now, I think, naturally leads to a then when conversation, which then continues you being in service of that person. So you don't just say no, not now, and leave them hanging. And that also applies to emails and system notifications. Say no to immediate notifications and check them only a few times a day. You choose when. No, not now, is what you say to those. No, not exactly that. That kind of no clarifies that based on your expertise, you don't think what the asker is asking for is maybe what they need. Again, you need to explain your rationale in service to better meeting their needs. Providing an alternative is obviously the logical thing that you would do in response to that, and making sure that that's agreed. You could say, no, not me. A straight no is like having a customer service call cut off. You just are lost. If you aren't the right person to help, then facilitate an introduction to the right person or point them to the right information. Facilitate is the key here, because if it's a no from you, it doesn't mean that you kick them in the butt as they walk out the door. You need to hold their hand until they get to that right person or that resource or whatever it is. And of course, there are those times when the reason for your no is wrong. When you're saying no because it serves you to say no, selfishly, when it's inconvenient for you or it's not your preference. That's not a good reason to say no. I'm not telling you when to say yes or when to say no. You're going to need to figure that part out for yourself. What I am telling you is that you need to be affirmative about when and why you say yes or no. Saying no means that you're clear on your objectives and how they fit in with your customer's objectives. Saying no means that you are firm when you can see what your customer wants is not going to be the best thing for them. Saying no more often means that you are ruthless with your time as your most precious resource. Okay, time for reflection and action. Listen very carefully to people who've said no to you. In the recent past, who was that? And do you know why they said no? Ask them why if you aren't sure. Seek out someone who you think is really effective, not just efficient. Ask them what they say no to, when they say no, why they say no, and how they say no. Think about your current commitments. What have you said yes to that is presenting a challenge for you right now? It might be creating competing demands, overwhelm, maybe some delayed delivery, maybe there's inadequate resources involved, whatever. Make a list of what you are doing right now that you should say no to. Jot down why you want to say no, how you plan to say no, and make that happen. When you say no more often for the right reasons, you'll be taking positive, effective, and rewarding action to grow yourself and drastically improve health and safety along the way. See ya.